Hey everyone, this is Rob Lashley, aka Graculin with MMORPG.com, and this is Wayback Wednesday. Tonight we're turning our attention to Vanguard, Saga of Heroes, and I'm lucky to have with me two gentlemen from Sony Online Entertainment. We have Salim Grant, who's the creative director, and Andy Seitz, who's the director of development for Vanguard. In no particular order, do you guys want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Salim's got his hands full with some DB changes for the publish tomorrow, which I know you're going to be talking about later. But my name's Andy Seitz. I'm a director of development here at Sony. Vanguard is one of the games I'm responsible for, and been around the block quite a few times. Worked on the original EverQuest team. Worked on EverQuest 2, Free Realms, Clone Wars, some PS3 games. So I've kind of been around the block. And this is the latest and greatest title that I'm working on now. Salim, you want to introduce yourself?
Yep. My name is Salim Grant. I'm the creative director of Vanguard, and yeah, I've been at Sony a while. I've worked on a bunch of stuff. Three or four EQ1 expansions, 3 EQ2 expansions, Vanguard, of course. So yeah, I am the guy who makes all the creative decisions here as far as the design goes.
All right, well, I really appreciate you two gentlemen taking the time out of your day to spend some time with us and talk about this game. For those of you guys that are watching, either live or on demand, you'll notice that I have a blank character creation screen right here in front of me. I wanted to take this episode and start a brand new character in Vanguard, and that way we can all see the new player experience and what kind of barriers there are, what we can expect when we first start playing the game. So let's go ahead and get over to that screen. Alright, so I'm just in a character selection screen right here. So with the free-to-play transition that you guys have recently made, what finally prompted you guys to go ahead and do that? Because I noticed that you were the last of the Sony games that were a subscription MMORPG to take that route.
Well, I think there's probably two parts to that question, two answers. One, I think that, I mean, we all know the game launched back in 2006. So it's been out for a couple years, and not to beat around the bush, the game had died off quite a bit from its heyday of the original launch. So long before I joined the team, there was a lot of discussion even last year of kind of reinvigorating the game, growing the development team, basically re-emphasizing our support for it. And after EQ1 and EQ2 and DCUO switched to free-to-play, we realized that not only did we want to, basically re-inject the game with the more development team and more life, we wanted to make a big impact, and we thought that the best way to do it would be doing the transition to free-to-play at the same time. So back in February, late February, early March, when we decided that we were going to go full steam ahead, that was when we started building the development team back up, and basically coming up with our plan of not just converting to free-to-play, but really reinvesting in content and just reinvesting our commitment to the game. So we wanted to be kind of a 1-2 punch, not just converting it to free-to-play, but also showing the community that this game is not just alive, but it's here to be around for another 6 or 7 years.
That's great, and I'm actually noticing something that's kind of different about your guys' conversion than some of the other games. It appears that every race and class combination are available at least up until level 20 for free.
Yeah, that was one of the things we wanted to experiment with. We started out, using our older games as kind of a reference when we made our Matrix. But one of the things that came up was, when you go to play a free game, the moniker of free kind of leads you to make some assumptions. And we wanted to not present you with all these decisions you had to make. Oh, I don't even know how this class works, but I have to buy it to even try it. So we figured, a try before you buy would work out really well. So yeah, it's been received pretty well, for sure.
We also wanted to not just with the reduction in class limitations, but just in general, we wanted to experiment with a lot of the free-to-play features. We used EQ1 and EQ2 as a starting point, and then we evaluated not just the feature set that we have compared to theirs, but also the size of our existing player base. One of the reasons why a free-to-play game is successful is you have a large community and you continue growing that community. And the last thing we wanted to do is limit the playability and the stuff that you could do in the game, and essentially guarantee that we weren't going to have this large community that we wanted to bring back into the game. So we eliminated the silver option, the silver tier membership. We also basically provided players with a lot more stuff that's free to play, and so far it's been received really well, as Salim had said, and then we're very happy so far.
All right, I'm glad to hear it. One of the things that looks like I'm presented a choice with as soon as I create my character, I can either go to the Isle of Dawn or choose my hometown. Is there really going to be a different experience I have, or is one from like a more experienced option that kind of skips a new player tutorial or anything, or does it really matter which one I go to?
So the experiences will be a little different. I mean, it's going to be more flavor. Isle of Dawn used to be our trial area, so it's got to focus on all three spheres, because once you leave there, you can't come back. Whereas the other areas, we went through and revamped them, but we kind of kept the basic flavor that was there originally. We just kind of fixed quest flow, increased reward metric and stuff. We actually did that for almost the entire game. So it depends. If you want to start, on your home continent, essentially, and check out how that feels, yeah, you'll get a different experience for sure.
All right, well, let's head to the hometown, and we're going to pick the Talon. I imagine I said that kind of right. The Talon server. Oh, and somebody already used my name. The Heathens.
Oh, really?
It's okay. I'll forgive them. All right.
They're running around griefing other players right now.
Oh, yeah, you should see them. Someone's shouting, oh, I didn't know that word exists. That's really bad.
All right, so what is this? What are these, the template options I'm presented with? A low template. It's just, I guess, just to randomize my looks. There we go. I'll be a gray-haired human. And away we go. It's a very interesting looking plant monster there. I would like to say that Vanguard was a game when it first came out that really interested me, but I was not able, for whatever reason, to sit down and play. So for someone like me to see this game finally make the transition to a free-to-play slash, freemium model, whatever people want to call it, I really like it. It's very enticing for me because I can finally get a chance to play the game, see what I've been missing, see what it's all about. One of the things I've always heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that you had a very robust crafting system. And I have a little bit of a crafter nerd in me, so I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's still there and kicking. That was my main contribution to Vanguard during its development, was the crafting system.
Well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
On that note, though, what do you guys think was the hardest thing what was one of the hardest decisions you had to make when you were going from, subscription only to the free-to-play model?
For me, I think one of the biggest challenges, not just with this game, but any game that's converting from a premium monthly-based subscription game, is really getting the matrix right out of the gate, because, we sat there for, well, we didn't sit here, but we debated for weeks whether we wanted to have 3 tiers or 2 tiers, and if we had 2 tiers, how the features would be divided between the two. And you really can only get it right once, because you basically set the bar when you launch the game, and if you've not been aggressive enough at giving away features and functionality, then people will immediately be turned off and never come back. On the other hand, if you give away too much for free, then you'll never have an opportunity to financially see success with the game. So we wanted to make sure that we got it right out of the gate, and that was just probably one of the biggest challenges. I don't know if you were tracking the forum posts when we first announced the Matrix, but we floated the first one out, which was I guess you could say was
Not received well?
polarizing. Yeah, there were some people that thought it was good, and many more that thought it was a bad idea for the game. And we kind of knew that going into it, so we had a backup plan, and we presented the second Matrix to the players, and it was the night and day difference in how players responded. And what was kind of ironic is we ended up having people telling us, "We think you're giving away too much for free now," which
that's probably a good problem to have.
Yeah, no, it was a good, and again, at the end of the day, it's how things pan out once the game launches, and so far we've been happy. We've made a couple changes since launch to be a little less stringent on some of the features. So in other words, it's benefited players with some of the changes that we made, but we feel like we nailed it pretty well out of the gate. But for me, that was one of the most difficult parts of this, is just making sure we got it right when we launched, because it's just so difficult to make significant changes after that, especially with a game that launched with had such a controversial launch originally.
I do remember that being one of the things that surrounded the original launch. So I find myself in my racial starting town. I decided to go that route, and I have to kill some risen farmers. So apparently there is zombies even in Vanguard.
Oh, of course.
They're everywhere.
Actually, one of the main threats, if you started on Thestra, one of the main threats for Thestra is the Cartheon, led by Sartok, who is the Lich King. So, yeah, you're going to see undead on Thestra for sure.
Okay, so I guess that's one of the early story arcs for the human race, or does that extend past our starting area?
The influence of the Cartheon is felt all over Thestra, and most notably in Old Targanor, which is kind of their base of operations right now, but over the next year they will be moving. So yeah, each continent has a main threat. Kojan has the Olvari, or the Fiends, and Kalia has the Jinn. At least in the initial design, that was the point. So yeah, just for Thestra, it's the Cartheon, Sartok sitting on his throne on his continent, waiting to come back and take things over.
Something that I've noticed out of the bat is that the NPC models for a game that originally came out, six years ago? I'm sorry, what was that?
It was about 6 years ago.
They're still pretty good. I like the fact that they're fair. I'm looking at this, this risen farmer, and he has a very round head. He doesn't have like a block and some triangle eyes. The art's held up really well over the past 6 years.
Yeah, I think the big part of that comes from Keith Parkinson, who was the art director before he passed. We really wanted to kind of capture the photorealistic, fantastic art that Keith created. And so yeah, when you look at, if you fly around the game, flying mounts, look at the sky, look at the vistas and stuff, it's incredible even today to see how good the game looks.
What's also been great about having 6 years behind us with, from the game's original launch, one of the issues that people ran into originally were just hardware requirements. People even with fairly high-end machines couldn't run the game very well, if at all sometimes. So, in the big push outside of, free-to-play with introducing the memberships and the marketplace and everything was doing a lot of engine performance optimizations. So that combined with the fact that it's been 6 years and, technology has advanced and people are running better machines, the number of people running into the problems that they had at launch are far, far fewer than what we saw originally, or what the team saw originally. I didn't see it originally.
I like the swaying trees.
What's your character name?
It's Graculin. It's Graculin's my first name, then I think Yulin's my last name. I'm by Guard and Tonir. I just finished slaying restless farmers. And I got my Vindicator's braces, and you're standing on his head. Are you going to river dance?
One of the things about swaying trees, one thing you can do in our game is chop down trees, which is always a cool thing to see.
Just any tree?
The harvesting trees.
Okay.
They have names over them.
I need to speak with High Inquisitor at the Tersh Academy dormitories to the south of Guard and Tonir. Farewell. Nobody expects the Arcane Inquisition.
Nerd.
Thank you. I do read. I do some voice acting on the side. Not really, but if you want to pretend I do and pay me money for it, I'll never turn you down.
We'll call you.
I appreciate it. Hey, Jen, to answer your question, I believe it's right at about 6 years old. I'm an explorer, so I see lights, kind of like a small-brained mammal. Ooh, shiny. Come running over here and see what we got.
That's basically a res altar.
Oh.
You can summon your corpse and stuff here, and if you die, you'd end up popping over here.
I'm enthralled at the res shrine. There you go, good job. I would take that as a compliment. Not exactly sure if I'm going the right way. I think he said to head south of him, and I'm pretty sure we're heading north.
Well,
so
game is all about exploration.
Oh, there's the trees.
World.
Luckily, luckily it's such a small world that you won't get lost in.
Well, that's good. Lynn Owed gives you a friendly nod while examining a long, skinny knife. The pickings out here are slimmer than the old stead. I do miss it. Looking for work. And he has no available work orders. So is this kind of like gives out little writs for us to go kill and skin and collect stuff for him?
This is for crafting. Yeah, this is a crafting NPC. Once you've chosen your craft class and you are of the right level, you can get some work orders from them to raise your crafting level and possibly get some meat rewards.
And cut down those saplings.
Yeah.
I got my eye on you, saplings. It will happen. All right, let's head south, I guess, and actually go to the quest. Yes, I was correct. It's to the south of him. I was, in fact, heading in the wrong direction the entire time. We're so lost. Oh, okay. So here's one for you, and I might actually kind of know the answer to this one, but what has surprised you the most from your player base with the transition from the subscription to the free-to-play? Like, what's something they're doing that you didn't really expect to see happen?
No, I don't. Actually, I don't know that I've been surprised on much. I've been ecstatic and happy at how great our community is. Vanguard has a really solid community, and when new people are coming in, just this grand influx. When we launch and have a larger influx, of people. We were having some latency issues and stuff, and still our community, our vets, things like that, were hanging in there. They're telling people, hey, this, that, and the other, we'll come help you, and things like that. So just the fact that our smaller community, getting these new people, just kind of grew, and people were getting close, and old players coming back were just kind of fitting right back in. Was really fun to see.
We of the Sages Arcane only travel from our headquarters in New Targanor when action must be taken. I can get even cheesier if you guys want.
That's fine.
What's that? We're muting you whenever you say anything now.
Oh, I appreciate it. Well, everybody gets upset when you don't read the quest text. When you just fly right through it. So and everybody with their new MMOs these days, like fully voiced quest text. So I'm just fulfilling a market need. Fully voiced quest text. That, and I just can't. I have to read out loud. I don't have an internal voice. Or we could just do this. Okay, what am I doing now? Heavy fighter training. All right. Oh, gained a level. Ding. Okay, apparently looking for a novice. She probably gave herself away by having that big green shield over her head.
Make sure you know where to get your stuff.
She's training me to defend myself. Oh, you guys are crafty. You have to train your first recall spell. Look at that. There we go. I have skills. I can't kick her. I tried. Alrighty. Back to the head Inquisitor. They're requesting a more British accent. No, I don't think I can do a British accent.
Well, can we be the judge of that? Could you give it a shot?
Sober, anyways. I don't think they really have accents. I just think they're all drunk all the time, and that's the way they talk like we do. That's more for the Irish people.
You just said that.
Not the British. What's that? I just said
that. You said that out loud.
I did. Actually, I lived in England for a few years, so I feel that I'm eligible to judge them because I actually witnessed them live, kind of like going to the zoo and seeing. No, I'm just kidding. I'll stop now before people start throwing things at me. Silly people. You can't throw things through the internet. Let's see. So we're getting sent to the Riverside Guard Post.
That's where all the good stuff's happening.
All the good stuff?
Yeah, that's where the party is, all the ladies.
Awesome. He also has some kind of diplomacy. Speak with someone at the entrance to that. There we go. He's glowing now. Oh, somebody else next to me leveled. Never mind. I got all excited. It's like glowing people. No, there we go. Overran it. So you did mention further optimization and lag. Is that something you guys have had an issue with or that you're working through?
Oh, yeah. Things are significantly different than launch. We found, what happened as a part of the transition is we had to rewrite a lot of code. Well, not we.
The royal we.
The code monkeys.
The team.
I got you.
Nod to Touchmate has been working tirelessly, but as a part of that, obviously we introduced some bugs, some issues, but we've been cranking away and investigating, getting some help from the players, stuff like that, and resolving any bugs that we can find related to latency or crashes or anything like that.
We also, obviously when we relaunched free-to-play, we got a flood of new players, probably 5 or 6 times the number of players concurrently playing than the game's had for several years. So so that gave us an opportunity to uncover some latency issues and some performance optimizations. And as Salim said, Todd Schmidt, our technical director, has been basically working night and day, pushing out fixes, optimizations, continuing to make the game solid and fun as we keep getting more and more people in.
You guys should all send Todd Schmidt some beer as a thank you, because he's awesome.
SCHMIDT.
Yes.
Is that Todd with 1D or 2?
2 Ds.
All right, Todd Schmidt. All right. Does he have a P.O. box?
I don't think so.
No.
Does he have a home address?
Not that we want to give out over the air.
There you go. All right, I was wondering when that's going to run into a
I
brick
mean,
wall.
we have no problem giving it out. We think that he might not want us to give it out. What the hell? He might. It's. No. I'm waiting for him to. He sits in the office next to Salim, so I'm waiting to hear him bang on the wall.
Stop! Giving me away. All right, so here's something for you that I always ask. What is something about Vanguard that you think makes it just stand out? And, I guess really MMOs have become a pretty packed game space anymore nowadays. What separates Vanguard from the crowd?
I think what separates us is our world. I mean, being a seamless world that we are, and like you were talking about earlier, just the way the game looks. Really, people log in and they look at the world and they say, "Oh, wait, what's that over there? Can I go? Oh, I can go there. Wow, that's amazing." And just the fact that we are kind of a niche game in that we still focus on some of the more hardcore elements of older school MMOs. So when people log in and play our game, they may have come from WoW or wherever. They definitely get a different feel. The game is a little less forgiving than other games when it comes to death and things like that. And we focus more on group play later on in the game and people working together. So I mean that really is what helps us stand out as far as in this pool of MMOs, like I said.
Someone told me don't forget the auto attack, and one of the things I wanted to ask is there even an auto attack? Because it felt like I had to keep swinging my sword, and if you just noticed, I died. So you're like, oh, where'd he go?
There is an auto attack. Our system is different, to say the least. So what happens is whenever you execute an action, there's a timer before you can swing again. Every time you execute an action, you reset that timer, basically. But recently I've been looking into removing that timer altogether and letting auto attacks just swing regardless, which will be coming to test server hopefully soon.
Gotcha, because that Rift Imp just beat the poo out of me. Alright, so this guy has like masks. That's pretty cool. I need to find journal pages. So, okay. Death in Vanguard. Alright, that's what happens when you die. There's people talking in general chat about how they like your free-to-play and how it brought them back. So it's working.
Yeah. It's been received really well. It's pretty exciting.
Who's this guy? Let's watch him. What's he doing? Oh, he's fighting books. Oh, this is actually what I'm supposed to be working on. Okay. See, this is what happens when you don't read the quest text. You read the quest text, people will mock you for reading them out loud. You don't read it, you don't know what you're doing. You can't win. Let's see. Did he give me a page? Oh, there we go. I want the mask. I will win the mask. It will be mine. For a book, that thing's really knocking me around.
It's an untamed tome.
Oh, it's a book. it's a book with a little man complex. I'm an untamed tome, darn it.
Little golden book.
I know, right? Oh my God, you went there. I don't think I've seen one of those in a long time.
In several days.
I know. Well, I do have 3 children, so I do have to read them books from time to time. And a little golden book might be some of them, but maybe I read them for fun on the side. I don't know. A little light reading.
Get that book.
Oh, here's a question. I actually kind of was curious about this too. I had like a 10-minute release timer on my corpse. Is there any particular reason for that? I mean, do people just like die, just kind of hang around on the ground dead? Or is there a penalty at higher levels that, you know, I just didn't experience yet that might have made me want to wait for somebody to come and res me?
When you release, we apply item damage. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So someone can res you and you can avoid.
Oh, okay. So there is a penalty.
And after 11, you get various penalties like res effects and things like that when you release.
All right, there's Tersh. I need to go back, get my mask. I have to find him again. I can do it. I promise. So this right here, this island, it's this. I probably should zoom out before I ask that question. Oh, there we go. I answered my own question. Never mind. Hey, Sticky. I got a party member. All right. I will find this quest if you see. You know, I was looking for... Oh, there it is. It wasn't there a second ago. There's the red dot back on my compass. I'm red-green colorblind. That's what it is. The compass was on the green, and I couldn't see it. It's not true, but that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I was going to let you, let you write that up.
I don't worry about saving face. So I think I will go with Strength, Parry, Combat Awareness, and Tactic Recognition. And I gained a level. And now I get to go have my revenge on the imps. Slay Rift Imps. So I can get a ring. Farewell.
When Salim gets angry, he takes revenge on the imps.
Does he?
Here at work, yeah.
I think that would be a very wise decision not to find my inventory. Here we go. Oh, I got some berries. Fresh berries. Alright, probably should get these bracers on. There we go. Oh, make it so easy. Just right click and I wear it. It's great. Oh, that's jewelry. See, it was a mask. I thought I was going to get to wear it and not have my helmet on it. I was going to run around looking like a tribal person. That would have been amazing.
I'm sorry, we duped you.
I know, that maybe that's something you should work on.
I actually put that in specifically for you and today.
I appreciate that. It's always to know that you have my best interest at heart. I appreciate it. All right, this question is more for Salim. You've been with, SOE since, back when Sigil was working on this game. And that's, I guess, 7 years now. What is one of the things that you're most proud of having accomplished with this game over that period of time?
I'd say, I've I've really been responsible for a lot of stuff in the game, but I'd have to say that my largest contribution overall has been the crafting system, and I mean I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that. Me and the 3 guys that worked under me helped me put it in, and I mean it was my first time getting that type of nod, and from scratch it produced something that I think is great, that people who play it think is great. So yeah, in my career, I mean I've been with Sony since 2000, and came up the ranks up to where I am now. And at any point in my career, I'd have to say that developing a crafting system, implementing it, things like that was a really good time for me.
Can you speak a little bit more to what makes Vanguard's crafting superior to a lot of the other games out there? Because, I mean, I've heard that before from a bunch of different players, across many MMOs, that Vanguard has been known for the crafting.
Well, I mean, the system itself really focuses on kind of moment-to-moment combat. It's a mini game. But on top of that, it's just the amount of depth. I mean, you can mix and match stats of all kinds to kind of produce almost exactly what you want. It's not as extensive as I would have wanted it, like Star Wars Galaxies. But in general, that's what one of the things I think makes it really awesome. Well, on top of that is, I think the work order system. I didn't want people having to grind items over and over and over just to sell them to a vendor or whatever, just to get skill. I wanted to kind of make them feel like they're actually helping the world, things like that. So we designed, the work order system where you just make virtual goods for the NPC, and the NPC's like, hey, I need some horseshoes, and you get the materials, you get all this, and you go and you craft, and they give you a reward for it, and you feel like you're actually assisting, whoever it is you're talking to, while getting better at what you're doing. So I think those types of things help it stand out. There's been other games that have stuff like that, so I'm not saying we are original, but when you kind of combine a lot of things together, especially the mini game that is the crafting system, I think that it helps it really shine.
These imps are pretty tough. I just kind of segued there, but no, I'm gonna have to take the time to sit down and actually do some crafting. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it this evening because these imps are not being very nice to me.
Wait, we were under the assumption that we were going to play until you maxed out your character in crafting. This was supposed to be a marathon session, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you guys got the time, okay.
I called my wife and kids.
Where do I learn my first trade skill? Let's get it going. No, seriously, where do I gotta learn my first trade skill at? Give me there.
There is a barn. I don't think so. When we originally launched all starting areas, we didn't introduce people to crafting until 10. So you may not be directed to the crafting starter until around 10, content-wise. See if I can find them.
Does your dwarf have the GM powers?
Yes. Sorry, I'm not sure.
No, that's quite alright. I was just giving you trouble.
Now I'm determined.
I'm gonna kick this in. There we go. Right in the face. Let's get. Bring it.
For the imping ain't easy.
I got imp slapped. Oh, that's a great name for a guild. I don't know why I've never thought of that before. Imp slapped. Oh man. I gotta log out right now. Sorry. No, just kidding. Gotta make a GM for imp slapped.
Yeah, somebody's creating that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Oh man.
Or our CS department is banning that name as a guild.
I
right
would
now,
think that's
before somebody does.
yeah. I was gonna say I think that'd probably be more the probable option, and then you guys would take to Reddit and tell everybody about it. We banned you because you said this. You named your guild Imp Slaps. You can't play SOE games anymore.
All right, I found him.
Sweet, because I'm over here imping.
Yeah, what's awesome with free-to-play is Salim comes with every account, so he can summon you to wherever you would like to go.
Sweet!
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I think the harvesting vendor here has the quest so you can unlock your harvesting skills, and then inside the barn here is where you start the crafting quest stuff.
We need to go get a sapling. Alright, do I need... I didn't read too much because I don't want to get mocked for reading the quest text, but is there any special tool I need to buy from her? Like an axe? Yeah, look at her.
I think it gives you everything you need.
Do we have... Let's see. Rusty axe, here we go. Alright, harvesting tool. Sweet. Let's go find some trees.
Axe.
You have to equip it in your harvesting tab. It should automatically go there if you right click it, but yeah. Where'd you go?
I just ran off to the side here real quick. Sorry. There's a bind on equip. Yep, there we go. Rusty axe equipped.
Yeah, and here's those saplings that you wanted to destroy.
Oh. I went to pillage. I'm Godzilla, and the trees are Tokyo. Right click.
One of the cool things about our harvesting is we have a group harvesting in. So someone else is in there, they'd be basically helping you increase your yield and stuff as you went through the process.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I just got like 17 logs from one tree. I'm dead.
Yeah, you're dead.
That would, you know what? I should have died there. You need to do that.
Thank God that this is not real life.
I know, right? But that would have been phenomenal if on my very first harvest the tree would have fallen on me. I would have died.
You realize that somebody is now upset that you didn't die.
I'm upset that I didn't die. That would have been amazing. That makes for great television. Random deaths of a streamer. So what happened to that guy? He died. How did I cut down a tree? Ooh, that sapling timber. Looks special. What did we get here? 2 sapling logs and a sapling timber. No, really, this is what I'm going to do the rest of the night, by the way. We got to max this trade skill out. 19, getting there.
Well, we definitely have a lot of stuff you can do, and diplomacy is 100% unique to us, and a great sphere of gameplay.
Speaking of things to do, little birdie, you told me you had a patch going out tomorrow. Is that something you want to talk about?
Sure. We are releasing some new content tomorrow, something that a lot of people have been waiting for, and it's a new overland raid mob named Theradon. He is the sixth of 8 giant brothers. And the other thing is we're releasing this new system that I hinted to on our forums that's going to reward people for exploration, and we're hoping to get people of all levels kind of exploring and discovering all over Telon and being rewarded for it. Another neat twist to this system we're putting in is it's kind of a precursor to what we have planned for the year. So it's going to, as people discover it, and I assume this is not going to happen like day one, as people discover and kind of peel back like the clues and stuff we've left around, they'll get an idea of the areas that we're planning on tackling over the next year or so. So I think it'll be pretty awesome once it goes out. Like I said, Vanguard's big, and we got a lot of places that even vets haven't seen. So this will hopefully have people in mass just kind of flying around, looking at, under every cranny, trying to find these special items.
I'm not getting any more skill points. These saplings have failed me.
You might have to go back to the...
I think I harvested your whole forest. Or at least put a pretty good dent in it. Where am I at? 46 sapling logs. That's not too bad for a day's work. I must say so myself.
Bringing home the bacon, huh?
I know, right? At least the hickory for the hickory smoked bacon. I guess was that maple? Sapling. Okay. And I get some hot pants. And there we go. Hey, look, I already harvested those. I can just turn those in now. Hey, that guy just ran by. Oh, there's his horse. He just ran by, floating through the air.
He was magic.
He is. You've accepted harvesting skills. Hooray. Let's see. Select 2 harvesting skills to learn. Which ones? Primary. I'm going to be a lumberjack.
Like chopping down those trees.
I know, right? They're all around. Secondary. Can't pick lumberjacking twice. This will be a miner. Actually, let's be a skinner. This way, when we chop down the tree and the small mammals fall out, we can skin them.
Just like real life.
I'm so glad Peter's not watching this. Alright, there we go. Got my hot pants, got my harvesting tunic. Did they give me a skinning knife? Looks like I gotta buy one of those. Looks like it might be free. Oh, it was free, so that's nice there. Thanks for the donation. Just asked me if I had a death wish. Oh, I guess I accidentally tried to attack the NPC. I was like, do you have a death wish?
You hit the con button.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
Well, you wanted to die by a tree earlier, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one thing. We actually have a real person in the game killing. That's something totally different altogether. Let's see. Alrighty. What time is it? Oh, wow. We've been doing this for almost about an hour. Do you guys have any... trying to see if anybody asked any good questions lately. Is there anything you wanted to... Does anybody out there have any questions that maybe they can field in about the next 5 minutes? This is a rapid fire round. I didn't tell you about this earlier. Alright, guys. Neat to see tombstones. Oh, well, that's not a very good question. But where are more trees, by the way? These trees you speak of.
What's that?
These trees that you speak of, I'm looking for some more trees I can actually get some skill points on.
Oh yeah, those trees were just for the tutorial.
Yeah. Oh, what is it?
Them around.
Oh, there's something cool in the background. Let's go over there and check that out real quick. Wow, I instantly took off my hot pants and put on my armor just by hitting the sprint button. I have to remember that.
Yeah, you switched to viewing your adventuring gear. you've got the 3 tabs. Each has equipment on it. Actually, more than 3, but for the spheres, actually 4, I guess. Food harvesting. So whenever you actually do something for that sphere, it automatically switches your closeout and what you have equipped, things like that. You can also force it. If you look on your character sheet, there's a way to force it to always display a certain thing.
Well, I had one question, and it's kind of, I guess it kind of dovetails into the fact that you guys are releasing new content. But is there any thought to possibly having expansions in the future, or do you guys see it more as something that you'll just release as content updates?
Right now, really, we've got a plan that goes into next year, and we'll have to play it by ear at that point. I mean, obviously, I'd love Vanguard to make enough of a comeback where we are, producing a new SKU in the form of an expansion. But right now it's just we'll have to play it by ear. We'll be releasing content, and kind of giving people some more stuff to sink their teeth into. Once that's done, hopefully the sky's the limit for us.
It's good to hear. Anybody else? Let's see. Oh, I guess to address the previous raid that you talked about. So are all your raids designed for max level characters, or is there anything that's designed for large group play at mid levels as well?
Raid wise, it's just max level stuff. We have plenty of eventy type stuff in some of our dungeons, but as far as getting 24 people together, it's max level. Actually, it's 50. Our first raid dungeon was at 50, and the newer stuff's for 55.
All right. The first one, by the way, was from in-game name Fingers, so if you want to hunt them down and beat them, you can. That last one came out of the chat room from Fasawa, and you're welcome. Anybody else? They said that you have extremely cool raid dungeons, and they're the best ever, by the way.
Well, they are indeed pretty cool.
Oh, did you just do something to me? I hit a loading screen. Oh, you kicked me off.
No.
Oh, I logged off. I'm sorry, I forgot that I logged off. I really didn't. Did the server pick up? Did I run off the world?
Looks like it might have.
That was my fault. I unplugged my computer from the internet for a second there.
With your mind.
Yeah, that's a cool looking. So I'll tell you, these concept arts you guys have for these load screens are pretty nice. I've enjoyed each one so far.
Yeah, we actually with the release we put in some new ones. Before we had a lot of buildings and some creatures, but we found a lot of our older concepts, more of the creatures that are in game. And one of the really cool things about our game is that most of our concepts look exactly like what's in game. So it's cool to kind of show those off.
Do you know what the hotkey is for hide UI? Because I loaded back in the game, but my UI is gone.
F10.
F10?
Yeah.
There we go. It's back. Actually, I prefer it gone. Let's go right around. Show people the world. I saw this off in the distance, this little arcane tower over here that's got the these lesser rift imps guarding it. And yeah, so exploring.
Yeah.
Me and Vanguard.
That's really exciting about our game for sure. Seeing stuff in the distance. Oh wait, I can go there. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Vanguard, seeing stuff in the distance.
Unfortunately, this lesser rift imp is imp slapping me. He doesn't really care for the fact that I'm getting close to his tower, apparently. But I'm going to kick him in the face. There we go. And I'm going to win. I hope. Is there anything about Vanguard that we really haven't touched upon yet that you guys would like to share to any of the people that may have played before that have taken a break, or to new players out there that haven't given Vanguard a chance yet that they might want to come check it out?
For players that haven't played before, I'd say, get in, check it out. You're going to be amazed at how much there's to do for a free-to-play game. And just like our other free-to-play games, you can play as much as you'd like for free and never spend a dime. And you're going to be really excited with what you see. With players that might have played before and for one reason or another decided to leave and now they're coming back to check it out again, I think that they're also going to be very happy with not just how much the game has improved, just with performance and optimizations, if those were the reasons they might have left in the past, but just the revamp of content and the fact that we're introducing new stuff almost every week at this point. So there's the game's constantly growing and expanding, and there's a ton of stuff to do.
All right, and on that note, I just completed my Origin of the Imps quest.
Awesome.
And I've made my way to this tower that they're protecting. Not exactly sure what's up there, but I think that I will... It's the Tersh Academy. We got a problem here, by the way.
Isn't that the high school you went to in St. Louis?
It is. Actually, no, because this one's falling apart. This is the one that Trammell went to. I went to the one that's not falling apart down the street.
I'm going to tell Trammell that you're bad-mouthing his high school again, and he's going to come visit you when he's back in St. Louis.
You're more than welcome to, actually. Oh, look at this. Somebody found me. Hello, Fingers. I appreciate it. I'll wave, and then I'll salute. Yeah, so I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day and spending it with us. I'm going to go ahead and I know you guys are busy and got some work to do to get this patch out tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and shut the stream down here. For everybody that came out and watched, I appreciate you guys coming and seeing Vanguard, and I hope you go ahead and give the game a chance and get back into it. And for those of you that haven't played it yet, go ahead and sign up. And on that note, everybody have a great evening.
Well, thanks a lot.
Yes.